Wonder Women. Welcome back to Wonder Women Who Build. I'm your host, Carrie Moreau, and today's guest is someone I admire, not just for what she's built, but for who she is behind the brand. I'm talking about Brooke Boltz, a powerhouse personal injury attorney, a devoted wife and mom of 3, a podcast host, and a woman who leads publicly and personally with faith at the center of it all. Brooke is not only a brilliant businesswoman, but she's also incredibly real. She has a way of showing up in the world with strength and personality, blending professional excellence with genuine heart, and always staying grounded in what she believes. So today we're pulling back the curtain and talking about the woman behind the business, how she leads, how she builds, and how she stays anchored through it all. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Brooke Boltz with Boltz Legal. I am an injury and insurance attorney. I have more 5-star Google reviews than any other Oviedo law firm, and also was ranked in 2024 and 2025 by Orlando's Best as a top 3 personal injury lawyer.
So I always start the episode with a win of the week or win of the week segment. So it's time for that, and it's my favorite part of it. So my win from this week, I have flipped the script in my mind, and I've asked the listeners to do the same. And what I've noticed is since I've done that, I'm thinking way more about the successes through my week than I am about the challenges and the negative things that have happened. So I'm actually struggling right now to pick which one I want to use. So I'm going to let you go first so that I can try to figure out which one I want to talk about.
I do have one this week.
Okay.
It just happened yesterday. I found out that my firm was named a finalist in the Orlando's Best top 3 personal injury attorneys for 2025. And we were named that in 2024, but the competition I felt last year was a little less fierce. This year in 2025, when I saw the list, I just almost was like, I'm not even going to try, because these firms here are so well known, and they market so much in the community, have so much paid advertising, and they're just huge firms. So I just did not expect at all to be one of the finalists. I found out yesterday. I was shocked to find out that I was one of the top 3 finalists again this year. So that was really exciting and a really big morale booster for the firm.
Yeah, that's amazing. Who are the other? I mean, we don't want to talk about them, but
we'll
talk about it later.
Well, I mean, it gives you an idea of who the competition is. Dan Newlin.
Oh, wow.
Is there.
Everybody knows that name.
Everybody knows Dan Newlin.
Here.
Yes.
We're in our market.
Right. And then Todd Miner is the other one who has lots of billboards and lots of commercials and all those things. So those are the other 2 firms.
Wow.
So yeah, it was, and there was probably a dozen on the original list, and they were mostly really well-known law firms. So I wasn't expecting it at all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love that. That's
Thank
awesome. My win from this week was a connection I made for someone. So opening a door of opportunity. So there's a guy I met like last year, and he does, as a hobby, he teaches Thriller to and then for charity, and then you get together as like a group, and then you go perform it. Like, he was telling me about this, and I was like, that sounds so fun. Like, tell me more. So I got to know all about it, but then, he doesn't travel in the same circles I do, so I didn't see him again. Well, he came to visit our networking meeting yesterday, and we went to breakfast after, and just I said, well, what are your challenges for this year? Are you going to be teaching people the dance? What are you doing? And just asking him all the questions. And he said, my problem is that I need a rehearsal space. The places we rehearsed in the past, they are not wanting to let us have the space because of liability reasons, and the group is growing, so I need a space that's going to hold like 100, because that's my goal this year. And I'm just listening to everything he's saying, and like my wheels are turning, and I'm like, I'm going to be able to solve this problem for him. But also at the same time, where he held rehearsals, when he told me about it when I first met him, it was so far away that I couldn't participate in like going to learn Thriller, because it just sounded like something that would be so much fun, and like networking with people and dancing. And I don't know, it just got me lit up a little bit. So I was like, if I can solve this problem and get it on this side of town, then I can participate and I can help him fill the room. Like, I was getting really pumped about it. But I was like trying to be chill. You're like just sitting there having the conversation. But on the inside, I was like, I'm going to get this done. It's going to happen. So I did. I found him a space, a community room at the mall. They're going to let him use it for
Perfect.
free. There's no liability issues, and it holds 250 people. And
Wow.
they will let him perform, like, for the charity at some of their events leading up to, like, Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not necessarily for my business, but
No, but those are some of the most
yeah,
rewarding
I'm
things
so
when
excited
you
about it.
help somebody else. But I need to hear more about this. He teaches Thriller.
He teaches people how to dance Thriller, like the
Yes,
yeah,
the dance, but
yeah.
then
But then
for
they go
what?
out like so. Then people donate so that you will show up at the group will show up at an event and just be dressed up like zombies and like dance the dance. So like a community event, an outdoor art festival, whatever. They'll
Like a
will
flash mob? They
yeah,
just
but it's like a planned flash mob. Like,
Yeah.
because I guess a flash mob is when you don't rehearse together. I don't know the definitions of a flash mob. But when I say to him flash mob, he said, no, we're not a flash mob.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've never been a part of a flash mob. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. Like, it's just the
Maybe
first
that's where we need
step.
to start.
Yeah, so I'm connecting the event planner at the mall and him. And when I
Yes.
texted him to tell him that I was able to do that, he was so excited. Like his responses in the text were like all caps and like a bunch of exclamation points and stuff. And I was like, so I'll keep everybody updated and let them know how it goes. And I'll probably be like, join me at the whatever at this time. We're gonna dance Thriller. So you'll be getting my
Okay.
invitation.
That's in my wheelhouse. So
Yeah,
I would
and
love
it's
to do
friendly for like all ages. It's not like just, cut off. So like kids and families, and I'm really pumped about it. I'm hoping I can get my 14-year-old son to participate. I don't know. We'll see.
That's exactly where my mind went. My 13 and 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, family friendly Thriller dance.
And the other thing he said was is great because if you have two left feet, it's fine because you're dancing as a zombie. So
no one will know.
no one cares. I was like, that's perfect for me because I will definitely go the wrong direction. Everyone's going right, I'm going left. Like I think it's taken me 10 years to learn the electric side. And what's the other one?
The cha-cha side.
Yeah. Yes. And for those of you listening, take a second to think about your win of the week. Big or small, we want to celebrate with you. Post on Instagram and tag us at Wonder Women Who Build using hashtag Wonder Women Who Build so we can share your win and lift each other up. Okay, Brooke, so now we're going to get into talking about you and the Wonder Woman behind the brand of Boltz Legal. Your marketing and advertising is your exposure is great. And it's always really fun, too, like your parody videos and all those things. So you guys have to go look her up on Facebook and watch her videos. Like, what's the one of them? Tell me the names of them again.
I have a couple of music video parodies that are Meghan Trainor songs. The first one's All About That Bass, which we changed to All About That Case. And then the second one is Me Too, which is the song If I Was You, I'd Want to Be Me Too. And we changed it to If I Was You, I Would Hire Me Too.
They're so fun.
Thank you. Those are the funnest part of my job. My husband says that I started a business just so I could make music videos. And he's not wrong. But it is, the marketing and advertising part of it for me is the most enjoyable part.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say one of the most enjoyable
It's
parts.
fun to
really
watch. It's really fun to watch. You guys do a great job. I'm sure there's a team that helps it all come together.
For sure.
Yeah. So I want to take it back for a minute and ask you what first drew you to law. And let's see. I need my glasses. I'm thinking I didn't, but I definitely do. It's fine. It's fine. All right. So what first drew you to law, and what do people not know about your journey to where you are now?
So interestingly, I never grew up wanting to become a lawyer. It's not something that I ever planned for or expected to do as a kid. My dad instilled in me the desire to make a difference in the world, and I thought that the best way to do that was to run for political office. So when I chose a major in college, I chose political science, thinking that I would then learn what to do to run for city commissioner and kind of work my way up over the years. Turns out political science doesn't teach you anything about how to run for office. And so I graduated not knowing anything more about running for office than I knew when I started. But I started researching what does it take to run for city commissioner. And I found out that the city commissioner in my town at that time made like $10,000 a year was this salary. And I was working as a probation and pretrial service officer at the time, which was a government job. And so I would have to, if I won the election, I'd have to give up my $30,000 a year job to take this $10,000 a year job, and realize quickly that my plans were not going to work out how I had envisioned. And so I was in this probation and pretrial service job, which I loved aspects of it, but I knew that it wasn't going to be something that I would be satisfied doing for the next 30 or 40 years. And, but it got me into the courtroom. And so I got to see what courtroom life was like. I got to know some lawyers and judges, and that's really what inspired me to then go back to school and go to law school.
So how old were you when you went back to school in law school?
I graduated college at age 21, and I took 3 years off. So I went back to school. I was almost 25.
Okay. And then you worked for another firm and then made your way to partner.
Yes. So I worked for the largest insurance defense firm in the state of Florida after law school, and worked my way up there for 9 years. And I became a partner in about 5.5 years, and started overseeing and supervising other lawyers, built a team. My team at the time that I left I had a couple of different departments. I was managing about 19 lawyers at the time. And I then left that firm. I was recruited to join a plaintiff's firm, which was the opposite side of the case. I just was presented with an offer that is the kind that I couldn't turn down. Made that switch, but then quickly realized that that was not going to be a good fit for me. So I was there less than 3 months before I then started Boltz Legal.
Wow. That's awesome. So do you ever feel like you had to hide parts of yourself during that journey? Like your faith or your personality, like early in your career when you were climbing through to become a partner?
Yes.
And then starting your own firm?
Yes. And I'll say specifically with regard to my faith that I felt as though I was on someone else's turf. This was their business, and I was just there as an employee, and it was a large firm. And no one there ever said anything to me about not being able to be vocal about my faith. Like, that was never spoken, but I just kind of felt as though it wasn't appropriate in a professional context like that, especially when you're in someone else's firm, and didn't want to offend people within the firm or or outside of the firm. And so I just was kind of quiet about it for the time that I worked there. I think people may have known that I was a Christian just because of observing my day-to-day, or hearing me say something about maybe you're in my prayers, or I went to church this weekend, or just hearing things like that. But it wasn't something that I really spoke about often at all.
Yeah. But you're more forward with that in your practice and how you share your faith now.
Yes, for sure. And that's been a journey too. When I first started out, I said, now this is my turf. And so I want to make this a place where it is where I can be comfortable with who I am. And so I did things like put a scripture on my conference room wall and put a scripture on the website and things like that, just as almost an accountability to myself, to not allow myself to go back into that kind of hiding place again. But that was kind of really all I did in the early stages. And then over the course of time, I just felt more and more conviction about being more vocal and being more open about my faith and talking about it more. And so it just kind of been an evolution over the years of where I've gotten more and more comfortable to get to the place I am now. And I still have more room to grow, I think.
Yeah. I can get that. I totally understand that. I mean, there's definitely encounters where it's received as a positive thing, like people are feel safer and reassured when they know that you're a faith-led person. But then there's always that opposition from other people who don't want that to be at the forefront, who don't want to be approached that way. But what's interesting is I had a conversation with someone a couple of months ago, a realtor that I'm developing a relationship with, and she had a lot of serious questions to ask me before she wanted to enter into that. And she said she had stalked me on Facebook, and what she could see was that I did have faith. I was a Christian, but in the conversation with this realtor, she serves the LGBT community. I want to make sure I had that correct. And how that they're, she wants her clients to feel included and to feel safe and to never have a situation where someone is making money on hurting people. And she wanted to know my political affiliations. She asked me a lot of serious questions. And I took that day, and when the text came through that day, I just happened to have the time to invest in that conversation. And I like having hard conversations. So we went back and forth through text messages for a long time. And and I was honest with her and upfront with her, because it's about loving people. It's not about aligning with any one belief here or there, but like taking care of people, allowing them to be seen, allowing them to be heard, caring for them, not taking advantage of whatever it is that they're a part of. And I explained all that to her, and she felt very assured. But at the end, she said, well, I wasn't sure if you're a person I wanted to align with because you were forward faith on your social media. She's like, but after this conversation, like, I feel that we would have a great relationship. So she actually just recently did send me a referral. And so having the hard conversations, sometimes people completely avoid them. And when I pulled out that text thread, I had to show it to my friend. I'm like, you've got to see this. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, this is intense. I didn't even share half the stuff that she asked me. I've never been asked the questions that she asked me, but it was good because I know who I am and what I believe. And I think so many times that people get stuck on defending it instead of being honest about the truth behind what they believe, and then using in a way that's uplifting instead of, I don't know, beating people down.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know I kind of got off track and talked for a long time, but I remember when you had done some faith-filled comments on your social media, and you had somebody come after you in the comments.
Oh, lots of people.
Yeah.
Hundreds. Literally hundreds.
Yeah. And it was, and I admired that I was, following that and seeing the responses, and you held it in such a way that was graceful, but also not hurtful towards anyone else. Like, very strong.
It didn't. One of the things about being a business owner is that you have to grow with thicker skin, and you have to be able to handle criticism publicly. And so, and I just came to terms with, if there was anything that I would be okay with being criticized for, it would be my faith, because that is the most important thing to me. So if people are going to criticize me for that, then so be it. And so when the comments came in, you can take them and they can sting, or you can just be like, okay, and move on, And so I just got to a place where I don't take it personally. Not just the faith comments, but I get comments all the time. My music videos, people have said things like, don't ever sing again.
Oh, no.
I thought this was Kids Bop.
No.
There's a whole laundry list.
They're so entertaining. They are so fun and entertaining and well done. Like, well done, to where, you want to watch the whole thing to the end to see what happens.
Well, there's haters out there on everything you do. And you just have to, especially when you do something that's a little outside of the box or not expected, then you just have to know that some of those negative comments are going to come. And so I just kind of embraced them and actually started to see them as a good thing. A friend of mine once told me that if you don't have haters, it means you're not doing anything. And so now if someone says something hateful, I'm just like, it's a good thing.
Right.
They took the time to stop what they were doing and send me a mean comment.
Now that's a mindset shift right there, that.
Yeah, like they stopped scrolling long enough to give me a piece of their mind. And so to me, that is a success, whether it's good or not good. At least they, hopefully, they will remember me, even if it's not in
I love that.
a favorable way.
I love that. Love the haters. Okay. So you're running a successful practice. You're a mom. You're raising your family and you're doing it all. So how do you navigate the different roles you play without losing yourself in any of them?
That really comes down to building a team
Mm.
to help. Everything from helping with the podcast to having people who help with the business to having people who help on with personal things. Like they're just having a team is really the way that I've been able to navigate multiple and keep different balls in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been blessed that the team I have been with me for years. And so they really know their jobs well and can function with very little oversight. I'm there to answer questions. I'm there to do the things that a lawyer has to do or answer the questions and give direction when needed. But
Mm-hmm.
my team, in a lot of ways, they know their jobs and they do them very well. And so I'm just at a blessed place right now to be able to rely on them.
Mm-hmm.
But it took time to get to that. It took time to build that.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, what was that? Was it hard for you to delegate? Because I hear so many women talk about all the different roles and all the different things they do, and it's hard for them to allow somebody else to take over something from them.
So my mom was my first employee at my law firm. She and I started it together. And so we kind of had these roles designated from day one that she was handling the administrative thing. She's been a legal assistant for 30, 40 years. So she's very capable in what she does. And so having someone that close to me and trustworthy and knowing that she's not going to leave and
Yeah.
like having your mom there helped me to be able to delegate things to her that were in the administrative realm. But outside of the administrative stuff, I pretty much took on everything else. And I had this belief that I was the only person who could market the firm because I'm the owner. And so I needed to be the person that people were seeing face to face so that they could know who was going to be handling their case or who they were going to be referring to. And so for a long time, I was the only person who marketed the firm or went to networking or did anything on behalf of the firm. And when I finally started, the next marketer was my sister-in-law, Rachel. So she's also family. We have a lot of family involved in the business, but I also trusted her to be able to have the best interests of the firm at heart. And she started having great success with it. And then we brought on our first non-family member to help with marketing the firm. And he's done a great job. So the passing off the marketing and relationship piece was really hard for me to delegate to someone else. But now that I've done it, they have even more success than I do with bringing in business and developing relationships. So that's been fantastic. So yeah, it has been also a process of delegating things over the course of time and getting comfortable to do more and more of that.
Yeah. Was it hard to delegate some of the personal things? Like that mom guilt?
Yeah. I had to have someone help me with picking up the kids from school and taking them to practices and things like that, and tutoring even. I have always been the person to help my kids with their homework every night, and I had to hire a tutor to help them with that. So that was hard to do, but I have an age gap between my kids.
Yeah.
And I have a 13, 14-year-old and a 5-year-old. So the 5-year-old is at the age that he wants to play and he wants to swim and he wants to do things different than the teenagers do.
Yeah.
So trying to balance all of those things I just couldn't sit at the table and do homework all night and ignore him night after night. And so it was hard to do, and it was an expense as well to take on, but it allowed me to dedicate time to each of the children in meaningful ways outside. Plus, let's be real, I'm not a good tutor. Well, let me take that back. I'm good at helping my daughter to improve her grades. I don't have the patience to be a good tutor.
Yeah, and especially like all, wearing all the hats, the energy, like the capacity to do all of that, it's just doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. My oldest daughter is not, school is not her forte. And so it takes it takes a lot to get through all the quizzes and tests and things that she has in a week. So
Yeah.
Outside help was the answer.
So what would surprise people the most about who you are behind the scenes? Because when you came in today, we were chatting before we started recording. You were saying that, doing your own podcast, that you realized we were talking about facial expressions and things like that. And you said you didn't realize how often you don't smile. So
Yeah.
when I see you, you are smiling. I feel like you smile all the time. But what is it you think? Because I've heard what people say.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but I could give you feedback, and I just recently learned that feedback is a good thing.
Yeah.
But like you have a presence about you, madame.
Yeah.
It's a good one that people are like, I don't know what Brooke is thinking.
Okay.
That's one of the ones I've heard. I don't know what Brooke is thinking. And the second one I've heard is Brooke, like, is she fun? I've had someone ask me that. And I'm like, yes, Brooke is fun. Like, does she laugh? Like, her videos, like, she's so fun in her videos, but like, she's kind of intense. Does she like, like, is she good? And I'm like, yes, she's so fun and laid back.
Yeah. Someone just told me that the other day. She's a very good friend of mine now, but she said the first time she met me and she came to my office and dropped off something because she was a marketer for an MRI company at the time. And she's like, the first time I met you, I was a little scared. And I'm like, really? But then I thought back, even when I was in high school, people used to tell me I looked like I wanted to kill somebody. And, some of it is just genetics. I have the RBF face that I don't realize that I look angry all the time. I'm not angry.
I don't think it looks angry. I don't think it looks angry. I mean, now that I've gotten to know you better, over the last 2.5 years, I think that you're thinking, like you're thinking about something clever or something you got to do later. Like, I don't know. Is that? Am I close?
I do think a lot. Yes, but when I started doing my podcast and I started seeing what I look like, I realized that I thought I looked angry all the time. And so I started over exaggerating these smiles like before and after. And I still haven't really figured out how to smile while I talk.
No, you're doing a good job right now. So for those that are listening, please go watch the video. She's smiling and talking.
You're bringing it out of me. But when I'm just talking, like it's hard. I'm now aware of it. So I try now to be mindful of it when it comes to mind. But if it's not in my mind at that moment, then yes, I come across as intense. I mean, even people in my BNI chapter who I see every week have told me I was intimidated to ask you for a one-to-one. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, I don't, there's a part of it that I can see, but there's a part of it that's like, I don't know. It's just
people make up stories in their mind about who somebody is, because I know I've sat down with someone before and they're like, I thought you were this, but after I got to know you, you're this. Yeah. But I'm like, nothing that I was doing. They just put it together in their head, and then that's what stuck. Yeah. Yeah.
It works well for me in my profession. That's
Absolutely.
why I think that this is a good profession for me, because people want aggressive lawyers. Mm-hmm. And so one time my a family member of mine came to a virtual hearing, and they had like a friend with them, and the hearing was like 5 minutes long, and the only thing I said was, "Yes, judge," at the end. That's all I said. And then afterwards, it was my cousin, he goes, "My friend said, 'Wow, impressive.'" And I was like, "What?" All I said was, "Yes, judge," at the end. And he goes, "No, she said it's because you have those boss bitch vibes." And it was just my vibes that she thought was like impressive. And I was like, it works well for my
Yeah.
my profession.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work so well for building friendships and relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to kind of be intentional about asking people to go to coffee or go to whatever so that they can see that I'm not always so intense. I am an intense person. Like my mind is always working. I am always thinking. I'm always, thinking about the next thing. But I also am loving and kind
Yes.
and friendly and fun. At least I like to think
And
I am.
accessible.
Yeah.
Accessible. Because when I was rear-ended and my neck was killing me, I had pain all the way down to my fingertips, and I just leaned my seat back, and I'm sitting there waiting for emergency services to come, and I'm like, called my husband. Like, everybody was contacted. I'm like, I need to call Brooke. Like, make sure I'm doing all the things because I'm definitely injured. So, it's nice in my car. I'm just like, call Brooke Boltz, and you answered, and you were like, do you need me to come there? I'm like, no, I don't think so. Everything's fine. I just need to know, like, what do I need to do? And so that made me think, too, about you sharing about your new website.
Yeah.
Can you please share that with everybody?
Yes. And I didn't have it at the time of your accident, but I recently launched it. It's called evidencesaver.com, and it is a step-by-step questionnaire that you complete at the accident scene to help to gather your evidence. Because as lawyers, we have to sometimes turn away clients who didn't gather the right evidence at the scene, because once you leave, it's gone forever. And so it pains me every time that I have to do that. And so I wanted to create a tool to help people know what to do. Even if people think they know, they aren't necessarily thinking about
Well, no, there's so much adrenaline. There's so many
Exactly.
things happening. And luckily at my injury, I mean, it hurt in the moment, but it wasn't a super severe situation, right? But it was, when you talked about that, evidencesaver.com, like, this is so brilliant. So did you come up completely your idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it was my idea. It was
Love
my
it.
idea. Ashley Voltaline with Get Me Automated helped create the site on the technical front, but the idea was mine, and I came up with all of the questions. And we tried to make it as accessible and user friendly as possible. And so, yeah,
It's great.
Hopefully, going to be useful to people in that moment. And it emails the evidence to the person at the end of the questionnaire so that they have it just in case they need it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Congrats on all the things.
Thank you.
And I didn't cry on this episode, so that's awesome. So I have a little question for the end. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
My superpower would be to look at something and it be clean and organized. I would give anything.
Like a wiggle in the nose.
Yes. Yeah, Bewitched. I forgot about her.
Just
Or
Dinkle,
I
dinkle,
Dream of
dink, yeah.
Genie.
Yes. Just nod at it and it's done.
Yes. For the house, because, as a mom who has kids who are messy and doing all the business things, that it just like the house is something that is always a challenge.
Yeah. Well, I have a hack for that because, I have 5 kids. So
Yeah.
So I can
Tell me.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'll give you a hack for that. Brooke, thank you so much for sharing so honestly and so boldly. You're living an example out loud of a success that doesn't require sacrificing who you are, that faith, family, and fierce leadership can coexist no matter what type of face you carry around that other people look at. To everyone listening, remember that what you see on the surface is only part of the story. Behind every strong brand is a stronger woman, one who chooses to show up over and over again, even when it's hard, and always with heart. If this episode inspired you, please share it, tag us, and tell another Wonder Woman to listen in. And don't forget, we want to hear your win of the week, so post it on Instagram and tag at Wonder Women Who Build using hashtag Wonder Women Who Build. Let's build each other up. Thanks for listening to Wonder Women Who Build. If you found value in today's conversation, be sure to follow, share, or leave a review. It helps more Wonder Women find us. Until next time, keep building boldly, leading with heart, and showing up as the Wonder Woman you already are.